I want to thank all of you for coming back to DePauw and participating this weekend. And thank you for the journeys you've made back to Greencastle. And thank you for being here at this particular moment. As you all know, DePauw was founded in 1837, 175 years ago. Its original name, Indiana Asbury University, came from the first bishop of the Methodist Episcopal Church in America, Francis Asbury. From the beginning, the school was specifically and consciously designed to be an institution of national stature, welcoming students from all faiths and backgrounds who sought an education. Greencastle, a city incorporated only 12 years earlier, was chosen as a site for the new college, over the cities of Rockville and Indianapolis. The community had raised $25,000 to convince the Methodists to establish the college in this small village of just under 500 people. The General Assembly of the state of Indiana, a political body that had only been in existence for 6 years, granted the charter for the establishment of the university on January 10th in 1837. Those in the room that day reported later in their letters and in their diaries that they were rendered silent by the audacity of the dreams when they heard of the granting of the charter. One young scholar would later report that, not knowing what to do, he just prayed, asking for forgiveness for his ego and his hubris. Who are we to start a college, he asked. He had just turned 25. 2 years later, Matthew Simpson would be Indiana Asbury's first president. 2 weeks after the university received its charter, Michigan officially entered the United States. Later that spring, the city of Chicago would be incorporated. Florida and Texas would join the United States 8 years later. The New York Times would begin its run 14 years after DePauw was founded. The founding of what became DePauw University was part of a great and important wave of college and university foundings in the United States. It's part of a remarkable American story, fueled by new transportation, new population, and a growing desire for all denominations to have a college of their own. The middle of the 19th century saw the creation of literally hundreds of new institutions. This was the period that saw Kenyon College founded in 1824, Denison in 1831, Wabash in 1832, and DePauw in 1837. Notre Dame would arrive in 1842, and Earlham would arrive in 1859. What we know as a system of American higher education was set in this period. From its beginnings with 1 professor and 5 students, Indiana Asbury quickly grew, and her students achieved immediately and prominently. Of the first 4 graduates of the institution, 2 became ministers, 2 attorneys, and 1 was ultimately elected to the United States Senate. During the economic hardship of the 1870s, a period when literally thousands of colleges closed their doors and were forever wiped from the pages of history, Washington C. DePauw and his family supported the university with an extraordinary gift, causing the renaming of the university to DePauw University. In 1919, Edwin Rector established the Rector Scholarship Fund. Rector scholars came to DePauw the next year, and their achievements became a true marker of this university's histories and of the nation's. The university, long noted for producing educated leaders, now began producing generations more. From Vernon Jordan to Dan Quayle, to chief executives of Cummins Engines, Lilly Corporation, the Ball Corporation, to entrepreneurs and to leaders in communities and churches, this school became an incubator of the accomplished. The combination of intellectual rigor and a vibrant social life was producing more and more leaders, more than this school had any right to be producing. By the 20th century, DePauw, by now called by some the Harvard of the Midwest, DePauw was an assured, strong, and admired institution. This is the institutional and national history we're marking this year. We are, all of us here, heirs to this story. Now, I'm an historian by training and by affection. The past is compelling. It provides us with stories, and we must always tell ourselves stories, and we must tell of our own beginnings. History can thrill us, and history can soothe us. But history can be dangerous, though, because you think you know the ending. And it's often said by historians that the past is a foreign country. One may visit this past, this foreign country, it seems, and then you return back to the present. History, though, is an endless river of the present. We are all actors on a stage that is always lit, the ending yet to be written. The founders of DePauw did not know Indiana Asbury's ending. They built and they grew, they hoped. They were individuals, 25-year-old Matthew Simpsons, scared and tired and worried, but alive. DePauw's history, then, is the history of us. You all need to know that your personal history lines up with DePauw's. They are not different stories. What happened to each of you is as much a part of the historical fabric as an act of the Indiana legislature 175 years ago. And here is that story. There's a school in Greencastle, Indiana, that, for decades, many decades, attracted students from Muncie, Indiana, and Quincy, Illinois, and Newark, Ohio, and it attracted you. And you were 18 years old, and you came to a place where you found the doors to the world. You came to a place that changed you. You met a faculty, and you were educated. You learned to think, you learned to be confident, and you learned to be purposeful. That is DePauw's history. To the 50th reunion class, many of your grandparents were born in the 1890s. And if they went to DePauw, they would have been members of the classes of the 19 teens. If your grandchildren came to DePauw, they might be members of the class of 2020 and 2025. History is made person by person, grandparent to grandchild. 25-year-old Matthew Simpsons stops and prays. You dream and plan. East College is built, and Anderson Street is changed. Here is my own history. I too came to DePauw. I just completed my fourth year as a 19th president. I stand here, though, without a DePauw degree, one of the few in this room so impoverished. But I have completed my senior year. And DePauw's history now intermixes with my own. And you need to know that DePauw changed me in ways that cannot be measured. This faculty changed me, and the students have changed me. And maybe it's a Midwestern thing, but I'm more open now to the possibilities of the world and more readily able to see the goodness of my fellow men and women. So I'm a true DePauw student. I am just like you. I came to a small town in Greencastle, Indiana. I saw East College, and I found a world. We are, all of us here, stewards of the possible, champions of dreams, keepers of the faith of what a college can do. We are the luckiest people in the world. So now it is DePauw's time. The stage is lit, the music has started, a college is looking ahead, and I look forward to what we are all about to do to our DePauw together. Now, just 3 weeks ago, we held commencement for the class of 2012. It was a very warm day, and the families were nervous. The students were, as could be expected, both excited and sad. Each year, graduation rushes up quickly, and the graduating seniors don't know quite what to do with the emotions that have taken over them. The faculty were in their academic robes, speeches were made, and fathers took pictures. And another generation joined your ranks and spread across America. And in just a few weeks, as summer begins to turn to fall again, we will welcome the class of 2016 to DePauw, 610 students who will walk on this campus and on the paths you did. They will laugh in hallways you laughed in. They will see East College at night as you did. They will think that day that 4 years lasts forever. And in some ways, they'll be right. You are proof that 4 years lasts forever. But before that day comes next fall, when we welcome our newest class, if you will indulge me, I would like right now for you to participate in one of my favorite DePauw traditions. When you graduated, as was the case for decades, the then president of the university offered a charge to the graduating class. At this most recent commencement, I read the same charge to the graduating class. As I read it, I was reminded again that it could still guide any lucky graduate of this wonderful university. I want you to remember this charge when you leave Greencastle yet again and go out into the world one more time. You are DePauw, and you should remember what DePauw once asked of you, and ask of you again as holders of DePauw degrees. So if you will indulge me, may I ask any graduate of DePauw University to please stand. Young men and women, you have entered into a noble inheritance. You are heirs of all that is past. Prophets and sages, scholars and scientists, poets and public servants have wrought with patience and sought truth, and the abundant fruit of their toil is now yours. It is yours to use. It is yours to increase. It is yours to bequeath to your successors. The university charges you to be strong, to acquit yourselves with integrity, and to be loyal to your highest ideals. Whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, always think of these things. Dear alumni, I am honored to be with you. I love this university. I will take care of it, and I want you to help me. It's a wonderful place, and God bless you for coming back. Thank you.